Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid to late January 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide and spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Virgos in mid to late January as we move on into Aquarius season pretty shortly? But yeah, what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in mid to late January. What's the vibe here for my good friends, please? Okay, the deck is being a little specific. I'll take it. So we have the Alchemist. Interesting. Yeah, so this card does remind me of the Hermit, which is one of your power cards in the tarot deck. And I actually haven't seen this card come out in quite a long time. So it's been months since this card has shown its face. So that could mean something. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card because there's a lot of layers to it. So if you look at the image, we see this individual looking at that potion, looking at his creation. He has like the alchemical symbol for the sun over the third eye, which does represent illumination, right? Or having a certain sense of knowledge and progress in his spiritual journey. So yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Hermit. There's a certain wisdom I get with this card. There's a certain in looking inward type of energy that a lot of you could be embodying. So whether you're doing a lot of soul searching, whether there's a lot going on internally and emotionally, that could be the case. But when I see like one of your power energies show up, especially in the front end of the reading, it could be about confidence. It could just represent being who you are unapologetically, which I think could be a really nice thing. Now, another thing I do say is he is like deadlock focused on this potion. So if we put all that other stuff to the side, the energy around the Virgos could speak about what you're focusing on. Are you focusing on the right thing? Are you putting too much energy into this? Are you not putting enough energy into that? All of that could be in play. And this is also a huge part of manifestation. So creation. Notice he is like deadlock focused on that. So there could be something you're like extremely honed in on, or someone could be honed in on you. That could be the case too. So we're just going to let him chill out. He could keep making his potions. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Virgo. Let's see what we got. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled A Karmic or Big Karmic Situation. Now, when karmic energy shows up in a reading, it generally can speak about like really big cycles, changes, shifts that we're going through. When I think of karmic energy, I think of very large cycles of life or transformation. So for some of you, you could be going through various situations. Even if it doesn't feel like it, it's transforming you for the next step. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my Virgos in mid to late January. What do we got? I mean, even before that, the energy was a little wound tight for a couple weeks. Like the energy was a little on edge. So this is good. It's another one of your power cards here. And remember, it's not gender specific. King of Pentacles is great in an Earth sign reading. Let's get a couple more. What do we got here? Okay, very cautious energy right in the center. 9 of Wands. We're going to have to look at this further, because I don't want to say the energy's bogged down, but it's like on high alert for some reason. Okay, so we got the 10 of Wands right here on the back end. There's a certain weight to the energy I'm picking up this week, which again doesn't have to be a bad thing, but there's a certain intensity or weight in the overall vibe. And then you do also have a bonus, which is the Magician himself chilling right over there. All right, so let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But yeah, first look, first glance, I always like to look at the elements. And a lot of what's showing up are like outside elements, whereas like water and air, that's like the internal world, the heart and mind. With the earth and fire, These are all things external to us. So it's going to be intriguing to try to like really pick it apart, because with the oracle card there was an inward facing. All of this is outward facing. But fire right here on the back end, that's the realm of action and movement. So the actions we take, the actions other people take, the actions we decide not to take. I think of vitality. I think of passion, drive, desire. It's that burn that we have within us. So usually it's very motivated. The downside to fire is that it could be a little unpredictable, right? It could be a little volatile. So we want to keep a close eye on that. Right here in the front, we have Earth, which is your power element, especially underneath one of your power cards. And when I see Earth, I think of our sense of stability, our sense of security. That could be in play, but it can also represent the world we live in. So think of financial things, think of work related things, think of family and home, and just the world that we exist in. That's really strong with the earth. The downside to earth energy, I mean, although it is secure, which is a good thing, sometimes it could be a little too slow. Sometimes it could be a little too clunky. So it can represent things not moving how you'd like them to move. So and this magician, just to mention, he's master of all elements. So we have all elements shown up there. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, King of Pentacles. Now, as I mentioned, that is another one of your power cards. It could represent another earth sign. So Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, could be any of those. And when I see the king, as with all kings in the tarot deck, they represent control of their suit. So the King of Pentacles, yeah, remember I was saying, sense of stability, sense of security. Normally this is like a beautiful, abundant, cup runneth over type of energy. And when I see him, it's like I have a game plan. So it's like extremely confident in its ways. So I do like this. There is this energy that's like reflecting back self concept and self confidence. So maybe that's something to keep in mind, regardless of what you're going through. Like self concept, self confidence. Now the King of Pentacles, I like it because it has a plan A, B, C, D, and E. The downside to this card sometimes, and again, it's great for money and work and stuff like that, but the downside is sometimes it could be a little stubborn. Sometimes it could be a little stuck or set in its ways. So remember, we already spoke about it. Like this energy could be um, a little too clunky. So we do want to look at it. I'm not going to call a positive a bad thing. It could easily just tell us something that's coming towards you, or how you might be feeling in this time when we get to the clarifier. Now, I mentioned that there's this really strong weight or intensity to the energy. So some of you could be going through some heavy things for sure. But in the center, we have the wounded warrior, and we see him there. He's got the bandage on the head, standing guard, just very cautious. Now, the good things about this card, it could just represent being extra careful for good reasons, right? This energy could be territorial, it could be very protective. This energy, it has all the facts. So I do like this card because it's got an eye out. Like you're not going to get one past this. So it's like I see things clearly. The downside to the Nine of Wands is sometimes it can represent wounds that have not healed, things that we're still healing from and working through. It could represent miscommunications or no communication at all, especially with this wall that this person's built. And I always say, with the worst case scenario, sometimes this energy could represent rejection or feeling rejected. So I'm not sure if this is a situation where you're putting a wall up or somebody else is putting a wall up. This energy is like not so fast. So we do want to look at this closer. And yeah, the Nine of Wands, it's been through a lot, right? That's what I always say. It's been through a lot and doesn't want to go through that type of stuff again. Now, moving to the back end, I wish it would ease up, and maybe it will when we get into the clarifiers, but we have the Ten of Wands. Now, the good thing about this card ties directly into determination. This is that beautiful can't stop, won't stop. I won't quit no matter what. I'm going to keep pushing. So I love it for that. Like there's this energy that continues to push no matter how difficult something is. But the downside of the Ten of Wands, it's heavy. It's burdensome. So whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, this energy could feel very tired. This energy just feels weighed down. So we do want to look at it because, yeah, it can represent problems. It can represent difficult situations that we want to analyze a little bit further. But I love that it continues to push. So as you can see, like with all these cards combined, there is a pretty heavy energy overall. I do also say the Ten of Wands is one that does connect to physical vitality and health. Um, Especially areas like the neck, back, and spine, but it could just be overall health and vitality. Move into the bonus, we have the Magician. Great. I love it. It's spiritual, just like that Alchemist we had in the very beginning. This is a card of manifestation, creation, pulling things towards you. So I love the magnetism here. But there's also something in the undercurrent about like ritual or spiritual practice. So if you do that regularly, keep it up. If you don't, maybe you should start looking into some. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. Let's see what's happening for my friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that King of Pentacles? And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that King of Pentacles here? Why is the King of Pentacles here? Thank you. Okay, this could be good. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles. There's only one downside to this, and we'll talk about it in a moment. But this combination is obviously some sort of talk or conversation of importance. Now, both of the cards being in the upright is actually a very good thing. So I think this is really nice. Whether it's someone you're wanting to talk to, someone that's wanting to talk to you, I feel like it's an energy that's reaching out. So I like this, but we still have to see what's up with this stuff that's coming up. Because like this energy seems to be in a good place, but what is all this? Now, there's a different dynamic between the Page and the King. They're very similar, but this energy is very, very shy, very bashful. So it's like, I want to approach, but maybe I shouldn't. So watch out for second guessing in this time. I know we have this underlying caution with throughout the reading itself, but when I see the Page of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles, it's like, I want to say something, but should I? I want to approach, but should I? There's like this little second guessing going on. And it doesn't just have to revolve around communication. This could be like anything. So you might be reconsidering, reanalyzing, rethinking things. We're going to see how the rest of it plays out. I don't want to say whether that's right or wrong. It's just what's showing up in the theme of the energy. So we have this like unsure type of vibe I'm picking up. So there could be something around to talk. We just have to see how the rest of it plays out. Let's keep going. I mean, they're both power cards for you. For some of you, if there's something you feel like you need to get off your chest, there's nothing wrong with doing it. When I have this, it's like, all right, but let's keep moving. Let's see what's up with the Nine of Wands, because I feel like this is going to give us a lot more enlightening energy, hopefully. But why is the Wounded Warrior here? Why is the Wounded Warrior here? Thank you. Okay. So we have the Fool in reverse underneath this Nine of Wands. Okay, so there is kind of that rejection type of energy showing up here. Doesn't mean you're going to get rejected from a whole bunch of different stuff, but it is someone just putting a wall up for one reason or another. So that could apply to a lot of things. For some of you, that could be work related, it could be personal relationships, it could be a lot of stuff. Normally, the Fool is Aries. It's a card of action, forward momentum, and movement. So when I see it in reverse underneath it, either one, this is an energy that's like, nope, not ready. Nope, I'm shutting that down. So there is that rejection energy. But at the same time, this is someone being cautious, but maybe a little too cautious. And again, I don't want to say there's, you can never be too cautious. It depends on your situation, really. But when I see the Nine of Wands with the Fool in reverse, it's like, I don't want to do anything foolish. Like, I don't want to do something that I'm going to regret. So that fits with what we see here in the front, where it's like second guessing. Should I? Should I not? Should I do this? Should I not? Because this energy doesn't want to look foolish for some reason, or it doesn't want to do something that it can't take back. So we're going to keep going. That's the main thing. So there is this cautionary energy that somebody's holding here, and you would know if that's the right thing to do. I mean, depending on your situation, this could be a totally right move, totally right play. But there is an abundance of it. That's what I'm saying here. Let's keep going. So I don't want to call this a warning just yet. Let's see what the Ten of Wands has, then we'll do a quick recap, because maybe we'll get a nice happy ending here and see what's happening. So why is the Ten of Wands here? Please. Thank you. All right, this energy does continue to push through. So I like this. It's an energy that can get over problems and situations and trials. So I think the ending of this reading is actually really good. Okay, it really does feel nice to me. So the Eight of Pentacles, that is one of the cards that does tie into like work and career and putting effort into something. when I see it under the 10 wands, it's like, you know what, even if it's difficult, I'm going to keep pushing. Even if it's hard, I'm going to keep going. So I love the grit. I love the determination. And this could tell me that, hey, something might work out in your favor if you keep pushing, or something could pay off for you in the end, which I wasn't expecting when we had all this energy here in the front. You know, like when you get knocked down, you get back up again, like that song that came out a long time ago. It's like, I get knocked down, but I get up again. That's just how it feels. So I think it is really good the way the energy ends. Now, when I see the Eight of Pentacles, if we're not talking about work and money and career, to me, this is a big card of fixing and mending. So, like when I see the 10 of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like, all right, well, there's something where it might not be easy to fix, but it's fixable. Or it might not, it could be a situation where it's difficult, it's not an easy one. Like we do see the problematic energy or the difficult situation, but it's fixable. That's what I like. Like, that's what I'm locking into. So there could be a situation that either pays off for you or you can fix it at some point. It's just about not giving up. That's the thing. It's about not giving up. So I like the way the reading closes off, but let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow because we have some back and forth, a little bit of funkiness this week, but it's okay. And I did say, yeah, maybe some of you are going through some situations or problems, a little up and down. It's okay though. If you kindly look in the box position number one, we have the King of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles in the upright. So I think that normally this is good. This could be a good conversation of some kind coming in. But the main thing I was feeling here, whether it's someone you're wanting to talk to or someone wanting to talk to you, there's like this internal shyness, this little internal back and forth where it's like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? So there could be certain things that you might be reanalyzing or really thinking about before you do. It's definitely a look before you leap type of energy. So like there's this internal battle. In the center, we have the Nine of Wands with the Fool in reverse. Now, I did say for some of you, this could be that rejected or rejecting type of energy. So whether it's a habit, a thought process, a person, like this energy is putting a wall up for some reason. I don't think it stays like that forever. I'll tell you that. Like if it is a problem or something or rejection, it doesn't stay that way permanently. But there is this wall that has been built up. Um, Aside from that, it's someone being abundantly cautious. Now, for some people, they might be being a little too cautious. For some people, maybe it's just right. It depends on the situation. But with this energy on the front, it makes sense. On the back end, we have the 10 of Wands with the 8 of Pentacles, that can't stop, won't stop, keep pushing type of energy. So there is something that Spirit doesn't want you to give up on and wants you to keep pushing away at, because whatever it is that shows up, problem or situation, it's fixable. That's the big thing I pick up here. And there could be something that pays off for you in the end. Even if it's not an easy road, it will be worth it in the end. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card. What do we got? What do we got? Cool. 10 of Pentacles. So this does embody a very similar energy to the King of Pentacles, to me, at least how it's presenting now. Now, the 10 of Pentacles is one of the better shadow cards to get. Pardon me. It is one of those cards where it's expansion, it's blessings, abundance, wins, and victory. So I love that this is showing up in the shadows. But the downside, we come back to this card, this energy could just be a little slower than you would like it to move. So although we see energy pushing in the right direction, you might be getting a little frustrated with the speed at which something is moving when we see this in the shadow side. It's change, but it's slow, or slower than you'd like it to be. But aside from that, I don't think this is a bad thing. I mean, unless you're having money issues or work-related issues, for some of you that could be the case. But it doesn't feel treacherous to me. I feel like it's something good in the end. So we're just going to leave it at that, Virgo. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The January subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or if you'd like to see what 2026 has in store for you, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The January schedule's already up, so you could go check it out and see what's available. It's going quick, but for the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's absolutely adorable and is great for readers of all skill levels. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments from today's reading which card spoke to you the most. Even if the reading didn't quite hit, which card was giving you those warm and fuzzies or really caught your attention. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.